Okay, it is time to do air fryer mac and cheese. Here is the recipe that came with the little cookbook that was part of the Power Air Fryer XL Pro package that I have. So you'll see it's just macaroni, heavy whipping cream, cheese, and cornstarch. I'm going to eliminate the cornstarch. I'm going to add butter as well as salt and pepper. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. Here is the cheese. I used some sharp cheddar, medium cheddar, and a little bit of mozzarella, and 2 little pats of butter. Butter is not part of the recipe, but I'm just adding it. You're only supposed to have 2 cups, so you can see that I have a little more because I really want it cheesy. So instead of the 2 cups of macaroni, I'll do 2.5 cups of macaroni. Okay, now we'll add the 2 cups of the heavy whipping cream. So that's where you know it's really just going to thicken up and just be absolutely amazing. So here's the whipping cream. And then I'm going to, this is where I'm going to add a little bit of salt and just a little bit of pepper. Because you got to have seasoning. I'm going to get a little bit more salt because there will be saltiness in the cheese, so you don't want to add too much. And again, if you've watched these recipes, I use the light salt from Morton's. So, okay, in here again, I've got a mixture of cheeses, medium, sharp, and mozzarella, as well as the heavy whipping cream, butter, salt, and pepper. Okay, it's the cheese mixture, which is medium, sharp, mozzarella, salt, and pepper. I put a couple of pats of butter in there, and then the heavy whipping cream. So we're just going to add the elbow macaroni. Okay, so that's 2 cups of the elbow macaroni. So this is on a mixing bowl that I just propped up on top of my air fryer. So we're going to stir this. And then, once this is all stirred up, I probably might add just a little bit more salt and pepper. I'm being very gentle because I'm holding the camera. And then we're going to pour it in the air fryer and cover it with foil. Okay, here we go. We've got the cheese, the butter, the macaroni, the cream. I'm going to add just a little bit more pepper. And I think we have enough salt because the cheeses will add enough extra seasoning because you don't want to have it too salty, but of course season to however you want it. So what we're going to do is dump this into the air fryer, cover it with foil, and then cook on 310 for about 15 minutes. Okay, here's a quick shot of the macaroni all incorporated. It is in the cake pan that came with my air fryer. We are going to use some Reynolds foil. I love the pre-cut sheet, so we're just going to cover this basket and then cook it at 310 degrees for 15 minutes. Okay, there it is. Just a quick glance. It is covered with foil, and we're going to run it in here 15 minutes, 310 degrees. Take it out. We're going to remove the foil, add a little bit more cheese, and then we're going to cook it again for another 10 minutes. Okay, there it is, 310 degrees on the Air Fryer XL. It's using the bake button, and we've got it in there for 15 minutes. Okay, I started stirring this before I videoed, but what I'm going to do is continue to stir through this. This is the first 15 minutes. The pasta's not exactly where I want it, so I'm going to do it for another 5 minutes before we take the foil off and add the additional cheese. Okay, so here's the mac and cheese again. I stirred it up when I took it out, so I had to run it again for about another 7 or 8 minutes. So what I will say at this point is if you try this recipe, I would suggest if you want to cut the time in half or actually use what the recipe said, which is only going to be about 20 minutes, maybe boil your pasta and get it to either al dente or right under al dente before you put it in the air fryer, unless somebody else has a better recipe. Right now I am into about 20 minutes of cooking, and then I still have another 10 to go according to the recipe after I add the cheese. Alright, here we go. I've added the cheese to the top, so we're going to put it in here. And instead of 310, I'm probably going to do 325. Nah, I'm going to keep it at 310, and I'm probably going to do 10 minutes and then just check it again. Okay, alright, as usual, I did the 310 on the bake icon, and I've changed it. I'm going to do 12 minutes, so that should pretty much complete the process. So again, key takeaway, maybe boil your noodles or half boil them before you do them in the air fryer, unless somebody else has a better recipe. Okay, I'll show you when it's done. Okay, here we go. It has beeped, and voila, That looks really good. Now, of course, I had to increase the cooking time in order to get to that result. However, here you go, so you can see that it is fully cooked and it is done. It's very creamy. There's a lot of cream. So again, I added butter. I changed the recipe a little bit, but this is very, very creamy, very cheesy, and that's the end result.